Well, hi. We're going to have a look at problem solving today with linear simultaneous equations. It's lots of fun, so let's make a start. There are a couple of procedures that you generally follow when you're doing this kind of thing, and they are here on this screen. So, many word problems can be solved using simultaneous equations. Follow these steps and you won't go wrong. First of all, guys and gals, you must define the unknown quantities with appropriate pronumerals, because in worded questions they don't give you any pronumerals, they just give you a worded problem statement and you have to convert it into maths. So the first thing you must do is have a look and see what it is they've asked you to find. That's usually at the end of the question. That's the most important thing of all. And then you give some pronumeral names to whatever that is, and you write that out at the very top of the problem, as I'll show you as we do some. Okay, define the unknown quantities using appropriate pronumerals. Do that. Please do that. Then use the information given in the problem to form two equations in terms of those pronumerals. That's where you're turning it into the maths. Then it becomes just the same old, and lots of fun and nice and easy. Then we solve these equations using the appropriate method, whether it's substitution or elimination, and then we write the solution in words, and then we check the solution. Okay? Let's go. Yes, thumbs up. Now, what do we got here? Let's have a look. We've got Ashley received better results for his maths test than for his English test. Well, of course. If the sum of the 2 marks is 164 and the difference is 22, calculate the mark he received for each subject. All right, now, listen to Wolfman, my children. What do you do first? You reread the question. Okay, I get the deal. He's doing better in his maths because he's watching our videos than he got for his English test. And the sum of the two tests is 164. The marks for the test and the difference is 22. Okay, now, what are they asking you for? That is the thing you've got to go to the end of the question and say, what are they asking me for? They're asking me for the mark he received for each subject. So that is what you call your variables, your pronumeral names, okay? The mark he received for each subject, okay? So you've got to think of something to call the mark for maths and something else to call the mark for English. That's your very first job. So I said let M be the maths score. That sounds pretty logical, doesn't it? And then let E be the English score. Now you can use anything else as long as you don't get confused. Okay, you wouldn't go calling E the maths score and M the English score, then you get thoroughly confused, wouldn't you? Okay? Now, the second job is we've got to turn this into maths now. Okay, so now, let's see if we can use these pronumerals that we've just created here to make up a little equation. Okay, so reread the question, and what do you get? Well, what I got was M plus E equals 164, didn't I? And what's the second one? You see? Come on, before I tell you. You see if you can do it. Yes, is better at maths than English, so it must be M minus E is 22. Now, it's easy peasy. And did you notice that I've labelled these equations here? Did you notice that? And did you notice that I'm going to document what I'm about to do? Okay? It's not so hard, and it's very, very correct procedure to do that, an incorrect procedure not to do it. Add 1 and 2. That's what you've got to write in yours, okay? Whatever you do, you've got to document it so people can see what you're doing. So if I add them up, I get, okay, M plus M, on the left-hand side, M plus E minus E equals 164 plus 22. Now we clean up that line. Looks like the E's are gone, thank you. That's what we wanted to do. And we've got 2M equals 186. Now we just divide both sides by 2 and we get M is 93. Well done, Ashley. Very good score. Keep on watching the videos. So now, we're going to get English now. So what do we do, guys and gals? We substitute. We substitute M equals 93, the value that we've just got for M, back into one of these two equations above, all right? So what did I do? I put it into equation 1, okay? And what do we get? we get 93 instead of m, so it's 93 plus e equals 164, and you know what to do now, don't you? You've just got to subtract 93 from both sides. And see how I wrote down what I'm doing? Hint, hint. Yes, please take the hint. So there we are, 93 minus 93 plus e equals 164 minus 93, and do a clean-up line. There we go, that's what we wanted. And we've got e is 71, so the maths score was 93 and the English score was 71. Okay, and Mr. Box, good morning and thank you, Mr. Box. And that's the answer. Now, but of course, the last step on the rules and procedures that I went through on the first screen was that you need to check your answer. Okay, so I'm going to check it now to see whether it's right. Then that'll fill me full of confidence or give me the signal that I need to go back and check some error somewhere. Okay, now let's have a look. Equation 1. Okay, so we're going to substitute the value we got for m and for e into the left-hand side of equation 1, and hopefully it'll come out to be the same as the right-hand side, which means we're laughing. So the left-hand side equals m plus e, which will be 93 plus 71, which comes to, oh yes, 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 and a triple yes. There you go, 164. Fun galore. There you go, and it's right. So it equals the right-hand side, tick, tick for us, and we're feeling happy. Do equation 2 now, though, to make absolutely sure. Equation 2, left-hand side was m minus e, so that would be 93 minus 71, which comes to 22. Yes, 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 triple yes again, and it's the same as this little beastie over here on the right-hand side of equation 2, which means we are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, yes? Yes, they are, and it puts a smile on your dial, and we can go on now, bolstered with great confidence and joy at knowing how to do these simultaneous equations. Yes, I won't lay it on too thick. Let's do the next one. To finish a project, Genevieve buys a total of 25 nuts and bolts. From a hardware store. My wife's like that. She's very handy. She's wonderful. If each nut costs 12 cents and each bolt costs 25 cents, and the total purchase price is $4.30, how many nuts and how many bolts does Genevieve buy? All right, look. Go to the end and see what they're asking. How many nuts and how many bolts does Genevieve buy? That's what you've got to assign some pronumeral names to. The nuts and the bolts. How many nuts, how many bolts? So what do you think we'll call the nuts? Certainly not B. No. You would call them, I would call them anyway, I'd call them N. And I'd call B the number of bolts, yes? Now, the next step is you've got to put this into some maths, right? How do we do that? Oh, well, rereading the question, she buys a total of 25 of them. So I'd say n plus b equals 25, wouldn't you? Very good, and label the equation. Now, the second bit, if each nut costs 12 cents and each bolt costs 25 cents, and we've got to get that into a price sort of equation. The total purchase price is $4.30. Okay. Well, I suppose we could say that the number of nuts times 12 would be a certain number of cents, wouldn't it? And the number of bolts times 25 would also be a certain number of other cents, and they would all add up to 430 cents. So I'm just doing it in cents so I don't have to do decimals, you see? Is that all right? Do you get that? You think about it. Pause the video and think about it. If you haven't got that, come back. But I'm about to reveal that second equation as I've just described it. Okay. There it is. 12 cents times the number of nuts plus 25 cents times the corresponding number of bolts would get me to 430 cents, and that's equation 2. So you label that. You happy with that? I'm delighted with it. So now we've got to do the old solving the thing, yeah? Now, I just forget how I did this. Did I do substitution or did I do elimination? I probably, no, I did elimination. Yes, I did. So I multiplied equation 1 by negative 12 so that I could make the coefficients of both of these left-hand terms the same but of opposite sign, because that's a plus 1n. If you multiply that by 12, you get plus 12, but we don't want plus 12, we want minus 12. So you multiply it by minus 12, and in fact you multiply the whole equation by minus 12. And what do we get? Minus 12n minus 12b equals 12 times 25. Now you've got to be careful with that. I know that 4 25s are 100, so 12 of them must be 3 times as much again, which is 300, and of course it's minus, okay? So now, we're going to add 1a. Notice how I call that 1a, because it's kind of daughter or son of 1. And I'm going to add, I'm documenting what I'm doing, 1a and 2. So this original one unchanged, plus this new one here. Add them up, and I'll get rid of the left-hand term in both. So it's 12n minus 12n plus 25b minus 12b, that's right, isn't it? Yes, yes, equals 430 minus 300. So we've got to clean that up now. The 12n's are gone, which is what we were conspiring to do. And 25 minus 12 is 13b equals 130. That's nice and neat, isn't it? Goodness. So we divide both sides by 13. Notice how I'm documenting what I'm doing. Hint, hint. And then we get b equals 10. 10 cents a bolt. 10 cents a bolt. It's great to be able to buy them individually, isn't it? Usually when you go to the hardware store these days, you've got to buy them in packets and have all these leftover ones you don't want. Well, that's marketing for you. Now we'll substitute b equals 10 back into somewhere. Where? I think probably, yeah, just put it in here. It's nice and simple, isn't it? I think so. At equation 1. So we've got n plus 10 now equals 25. Therefore, what's n? 15. It must be, where is it? 15. Yes, 15. And therefore, we've got 15 nuts and 10 bolts. Okay? Do you agree with me? And that's the answer. So I put a box around that. Hello, Mr. Box again. Doing a great job there, Mr. Box. Now, last step. Last step, guys and girls, check your answer. Okay? So put them back into the equation. Check the solution. Equation 1. What do we got? Left-hand side is n plus b, which is, it does come to 25, so we're feeling terrific. Equals the right-hand side, so that's good. Now what about equation 2? Left-hand side is 12n plus 25b. Let's go for that. So it's 12 times 15, which was the cost of the, wait a minute, the number of the nuts, wasn't it? Yep. Plus 25 cents times 10 bolts, and that does, I think it does, come to, what's that? Yeah, 180 plus, got to be careful with these numbers, plus 250, what's that come to? Yes, it does. It comes to 430, and we are feeling mighty fine, because that's the same as the right-hand side. So we know that's correct, don't we? We absolutely know it's correct. Okie dokie, now one more and we're done, and you're feeling terrific. Yes, the solutions are correct, and it puts a smile on your dial all the while. Now, excuse me. What's this last one? I just picked a random one, as hard as I could find out of the examples I was looking at, but it's not actually very hard at all, so you know you'll be able to clean this one up, no problem. So, what we got Joel now. Joel needs to buy some blank DVDs and some zip discs. They're a bit old hat, aren't they? Zip discs, heavens, I don't think you see them anymore. To back up a large amount of data that he has generated by has been generated by an accounting firm. I think you'd go and buy a terabyte drive now, wouldn't you? Not a zip disk. But anyway, we won't criticise the question writer. So he buys 6 DVDs and 3 zip disks, and it costs him $96. He later realises he hasn't got enough of them, so he goes and buys another 5 DVDs and 4 zip disks, and that cost him $116. Goodness gracious. So, we've got it now. You see, look. How much did each DVD and each zip disk cost? That's what you have to assign your variable names to, your pronumeral variable names, right? So it's, what's it saying here? Assume the, oh yes, we assume that when he went back the second time they cost the same amount, alright? Otherwise the store is ripping us off, or whatever. Now, do you get it? Now come on, reread the question. He's got to buy certain, what are we trying to find? How much of them, yeah, how much they cost. How much did each DVD cost, and how much did each zip disk cost, right? So I better assign that as my variable thingy. So I'm calling D be the cost of the DVDs, and I'm saying Z can be the cost of the zip disks. And you'll notice that I put a little line through the Z, because sometimes these things can morph into 2's, and then your whole question goes completely, runs amok, okay? So, alright. So now we've got to make up an equation. All right, we'll just read through the question again. Now, what did it say? He buys 6 DVDs and 3 zip disks for $96. All right. So, what does that... Come on, you write that out now. Pause the video if you have to. Come back. Write out the equation. All right, you're back? Here it is. 6 times the cost of each DVD plus 3 times the cost of each zip disk must come to $96. Did you get that? Good, and I've called it equation 1, documenting what I'm doing. Hint, hint again. Now, the second bite of the cherry here, what are we doing? We've got the second time we went back to the store, 5 DVDs, so 5 times D, plus 4 zip disks, plus 4 times Z comes to $116. Hope he kept a receipt and can claim the money back. So, there we go. Oh, good, we've got our equations, guys. Now, which way would you like to solve them? I think I'm partial to elimination again. Aren't you? I don't want to do substitution. It's too hard. Yeah, it lends itself to elimination because you've got something times D plus something times Z equals something. That's the form of equations that you like to use for elimination, okay? As we discovered in a previous video. All right, well, let's see. I think I'll multiply equation 1 by... Well, if you've got 3 and 4, well, let's make them 12, because that's the lowest common multiple of 3 and 4, the lowest number that they both divide evenly into. But I better multiply this one by probably minus 4, I think, so that I can get the signs different, yeah? Oh, look, I did do that. So the second one, I'm going to multiply that one by plus 3. Now, we better do that and be very careful to multiply every single term in the equation by that, and be really especially careful because these are large numbers here. Okay, so don't rush it and don't make a mistake. Equation 1 becomes minus 24D, 4 6s are 24, minus 12Z, 4 3s are 12 and it's minus, equals, now that's, you've got to be careful with that one. That's 4 times 96, and that comes to 384 if you do it carefully or use your calculator, and it's minus, isn't it? Yes? Okay, second one. Now we're going to do 3 times. Yes, so it's 15D, 5 3s are 15, plus 4 times 3 is 12. Z equals 3 times 116. That's, 3 times 100 is 300. 3 16s are 48, so it's 348. Okay, okay. Everything looking good? Check, check, and check-a-rooney. Now we'll add those equations together and we'll knock out those 12 Z's beautifully, okay? You ready for it? Come on, let's go. And you notice how I'm documenting what I'm doing. Hint, hint, again. So, minus 24D plus 15D minus 12Z plus 12Z equals minus 384 plus 348. Yes, you get that? Knocking out those 12Zs and cleaning up, we get minus 9D equals minus 36, and you can tell me what D is, can't you? A DVD costs $4. Yes, it does. And now, that's half the question done. Now we've got to substitute back into one of those equations and to get what the zip disks cost. So I've substituted D as 4 back into equation 1. And so let's just do that. So 6 times 4 plus 3Z equals 96. Okay, so the 6 times 4 is 24, isn't it? 24 plus 3Z is 96. We better subtract 24 from both sides. Notice that I'm documenting what I'm doing. Yes. There we go. And that comes to that, knocks out the 24s. So we've got 3, cleaning up, we've got 3Z is 72. What's the third of 72, everybody, on a good day? 3 to 7 goes 2 and 1 over. Doesn't it? Yes, and $24. Heavens, they're dear, aren't they? Oh, so that comes to $24 for a zip disk. Well, there you go. So that looks like the answer. Now we better write it out in words, like they told us to. So each DVD costs $4 and each zip disk costs $24, guys, and that is delightful. We've got the answer. You see, we've got the answer. And we can do simultaneous equations easily, can't we? Now, the other thing is, which I didn't do because I got thoroughly sick of it by this stage, you have to check your answer, right? So please don't follow my bad example. Check the answer, okay? And there it goes. Now, look, I'm feeling guilty now. So you've made me feel guilty. So I'll do it. I'll just do one of them, all right? So 6D, let's see. 6D is 6 fours are 24. Now, 3 times 24 is 72. 24 and 72, oh, goodness, 24. And yes, it is. It's 96. Ah, wonderful. Well, see, now I'm feeling good. I'll do the other one in my head. 5Ds, what's that? 5 fours are 20, and 4 24s are 96. Oh, look, 20 and 96 comes to 115. We're laughing, 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 okay? So that's good. I think that's the end, and the end is your friend. You better go and do some practice, though, otherwise you won't get good at these, because you need to do lots of work to connect all those little neural pathways in your brain and get familiar with them so your working memory doesn't get overloaded. All right, I'm out of here. You have a wonderful day, and thanks for coming to see me today, and all the best, and we'll see you next time.